Okay, is that better? Good evening, everyone. To those who are new, welcome to EasyTron Sundays with the creator, Mr. Nicklaus de Cruz, and to everybody who are coming back, like I always say every Sunday, welcome back. We appreciate that you spend a couple of hours of your day every Sunday here with us. Big shout out to the Royal team as they're always here consistently. So thank you so much. That is very much appreciated. So just to let you guys know, to those who are new, EasyTron Sundays was made to get you updated with the latest news about this amazing platform and for you guys to hang out with like-minded people who share the same incredible experience with EasyTron as you. I see somebody saying hi. Hi, Donna and Lisa. Hi, Donna and TT. Hello. What else? Yeah, so that's basically it. Again, Natalia, I hope everybody is doing great as we almost close the first quarter of 2021. I know I've been doing okay. And just a quick personalization of this call. We're going back on lockdown. So how is everybody during COVID right now? I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is keeping safe. So I will not make this long. I want to make this really quick because I know some of you guys are really excited to see Mr. De Cruz tonight. So without further ado, here he is. Welcome, Mr. Nicklaus de Cruz.
Thank you, Red. Appreciate the introduction. I didn't know you're going back on lockdown. That's quite miserable, I must say. There are a number of countries where I think COVID's getting worse. I think Brazil, I hear, is not doing too well. They're full in all the hospitals. Most people don't want to wear their masks and people really can't be bothered. And I think when you have that kind of situation, well, it makes things very difficult for people who want to try to stay safe. Things haven't been managed very well in Manila or in the Philippines, so I do feel sorry for all of you. It's not really nice to hear that you've got another lockdown. For many people who've been locked down for months, it is it's quite tough, even psychologically. I know a lot of people have been affected by that. In Singapore, things are pretty good. We've not had any cases for months and months. Every now and again, we might get one case, but it's all kind of managed really well. And I think we're about to start opening up our borders for everyone who's got vaccinations. So we'll open a green corridor with Australia. As long as anyone has vaccinations, you can freely travel between countries. We might open borders with Vietnam. I think the UK is looking at the green passport as well. And I think the US as well is also about to open up their borders to us. So it does mean that very soon we can start meeting each other again. So it is a little bit around the corner. Things are a little bit better in India as well. So I think that's wonderful to hear. We do have a lot of members who are in India. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that as we get through 2021, it's just going to get better for us. Fingers crossed. Now, $61,000. I know Bitcoin just fell a little bit. It might have just gone back down below 60. Oh no, it's $60,056 and 96 cents. So that's very nice, right? $60,000 Bitcoin is what we were expecting, and it's nice that it's happened quite smoothly, and it was a very strong surge towards this number. But I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin today because I think it's particularly relevant, and it's kind of inspired a little bit by an interview I watched earlier today with Michael Saylor, right, from MicroStrategies. If you remember, I spoke about MicroStrategy maybe a month ago, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around about there. And we spoke about how the company went out and they bought, I think, $150 million worth of Bitcoin. At that point, Bitcoin must have been $30,000 or so. And then they issued a bond for 1 billion. And the bond meant they could take a loan from the public, and they paid some small interest of, I think it was 2% or something like that. And with that 1 billion, they bought more Bitcoin. They now have 90, just shy of 92,000 Bitcoin in their holdings. But what has happened is the valuation of the company went from 1 billion to 6 billion. And this is very, very significant because this $6 billion valuation occurred with no business, no employee hired, no factory built, no product that left the assembly line. Yet the company had a 600% increase in valuation. It is something that I want to repeat because it's quite a significant milestone and a very um, pertinent change that we have to try to understand. And it affects you as an individual, it affects all of us. And it's something, because we're in the crypto space, we've got to pay attention to what's happening. And sometimes things are right in front of your face and you don't notice it. So, part of my conversation today is to explain what this really means to all of us. In the interview, Michael Saylor said, as a reminder, as a bold statement of fact, he said, Bitcoin is the greatest asset in humankind, the greatest asset in history. It is something that all of us should pay attention to. It is more important than investment in gold, investment in land, investment in blue chip stocks, investment in property, in art, in even NFTs. It is something that will last forever, for eternity. This protocol can never be destroyed. Again, like EasyTron, it's never going to be destroyed. It'll always be there. Whatever fears people might have about EasyTron, don't have any fears. The smart contract will forever stay in place and continue to pay out in the structure it was built, in the way it was designed. And Bitcoin is exactly the same thing. So if you understand the fact that this is a store of value that will not diminish, that is remains finite because the protocol was driven and was written for it to be finite. It might have been written with some use case, some utility designed to be a currency and so forth. Fine. Whether we use it as a currency, whether we don't use it as a currency, I think now it no longer matters. But it is an asset that is forever. If you understand, and many of us might be in the capital markets, and we understand the capital markets, right? And we invest in stocks, and we're all having a great time because stocks are going through the roof. But if you look at the Dow Jones, in every 20-year period, right, in this 20-year cycle, at least 30% of the companies will disappear from the Dow Industrials, which means, if you remember, some of you might have grown up at a time when IBM was the big blue chip. It was one of the most important stocks. When GM, General Motors, was everything, right? It was a $400 billion company back then. It was the king, Today, obviously, you've got Apple at $2 trillion in size. So we know that companies will disappear. So even if you are holding on to a blue chip, one day, back in your parents' times and the last generation, they would say, here's some share certificates. You put it in your cupboard and you don't touch it for 20 years. And then when you pull it out, at some point you'll see 100,000 has now become $2 million. That would have been the benefit of holding on to a blue chip. Today, that risk of that blue chip not being around is there, right? I mean, if it happened to be an IBM share certificate, well, then it would have lost a lot of value over the last few years. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your asset will increase. Property is the same thing. Property goes through 20-year cycles, which means for 20 years it can go up in value. And all of us want to hold property. I mean, we grow up believing that that is one of the most important assets for us to hold. But at the point property is at its peak, it's exactly the time you don't buy property. It's the time maybe you might want to rent. So even property has to be treated differently. And then it has a 20-year down trend. And during that 20-year downtrend, property becomes a very, very dangerous investment. If you take $2 million as a loan and you put 10% down as a down payment, you've therefore taken a $1.8 million loan. If the property falls 20%, you now owe another $200,000 to $400,000 that you have to find to pay up because the asset has gone underwater. And this kind of capital call is something people can't afford. Then they get kicked out of their house, they lose their home, and so forth. So even property can be quite dangerous. It isn't always uh, sunrise. Blue, it, and therefore, if you understand this and you look at Bitcoin, you then understand that it it will it is something you can hold on to forever. You don't have to worry about it not being around in 20 years. The protocol will forever be there, at least until 2040, when the last Bitcoin is going to be mined. It is going to keep increasing in value. And we talk about institutional investors who are putting their money in Bitcoin. Now, you think about this. Right now, Bitcoin is has got about $1 trillion invested in it, right? Um, and that's a total valuation of all uh, Bitcoin that's being held today, of which maybe about 25% will never be recovered, right? So $250 billion is forever lost because people have lost their private keys. People didn't know they held it. It was gifted to them. They threw away their computer. They lost their cold wallet, a wallet that they had before no longer exists, and on and on. Many, many factors have led to a large number of Bitcoin that will forever be lost. But there is still $400 trillion in the market, in capital markets today, that will start paying attention to what's going on with Bitcoin. This is like the Three Gorges Dam in China. It is so large, you cannot comprehend this. This 400 times, 400 times the amount of money that's currently in Bitcoin will flow towards the stronger asset. Everything moves to a stronger asset, right? You move from a weaker currency to a stronger currency, from a weaker business to a stronger business. You will always keep holding on to whatever is stronger. And as this paradigm shift happens and people understand the value of Bitcoin and institutions have come to accept it, then the big money will start to flow towards Bitcoin. And its rise will be meteoric. It is something you can no longer afford to stand on the side and wait and observe and um, and think it's too expensive for you to invest in. It is not too expensive for you to invest in. I gave my son $100 in Bitcoin, just $100 for him to keep. He's quite young, and I gave it to him maybe a week ago, and now it was $120, I think, 2 days ago, and it's probably going to be $125 or $128 today. He wakes up in the morning and he stares at his Binance wallet and he's thrilled, right? His $100 has now gone up significantly in value. He's only got $4.50 in his bank anyway, so this $28 rise is big. It's really big. I think I shared with you. I said my mom purchased some Bitcoin maybe a month ago. It's also up 30%, right? It's up 30%. in a month. We we all know traders. There are lots of people trading. They're trading in Bitcoin, they're trading in currency, they're trading in DeFi, they're trading especially in the capital markets. And this year, you have to be an absolute idiot. You have to be so damned unlucky to lose money. So you buy Apple shares and Tesla shares, and you buy Google and Facebook and these big Godzilla companies, and all of them are rising, all of them significantly. And the market is up 20%, 30% this year. It's been wonderful. And if you follow the big investors, you'll continue to make money. But remember, all of what is happening in the capital markets pales in comparison to what's happening in the crypto markets. So you have a 20% rise in the market, you think you've done well. You're an ace trader. You're the smartest person on this planet. And you know what? Over the next 5 years, you're going to quit your job and become a day trader because you think you're damn good. And that's human nature. We think we're that way. We congratulate ourselves when we do well, which is all good. But the reality is that um, cash that has been printed and sent into the market has risen to an unprecedented level, right? $1.9 trillion was just approved, and now we've got nearly $30 trillion that is just sitting that has been printed by the feds. And whether, if you think about it, when you print all this money, it inflation happens, right? Which means the value of the currency comes down. And your $1 doesn't buy you so many things anymore, right? Your $1 is now worth 90 cents. It's now worth 80 cents. It's now worth 70 cents. This is what happens, right? That's inflation. And so a lot of this free money has gone into the stock markets and people have chased the price up. And you think, wow, you're making more money. In reality, the, the cost of money has come down. And so the stocks become more expensive. And so you think you've made money, but you haven't. You've just kept up with inflation. This 20% that you've made in the stock market, in some asset that you might have purchased, hopefully it wasn't gold, but this asset that you've purchased, it's actually just helped you to keep your head above water, just to keep up with inflation. That's really what has happened. And 20% is never going to be enough. Now, one of the things Michael Saylor was saying about his company was that they were a growth company. They would make, I don't know, 50 million, $75 million every year. And they had a lot of cash. I think they had a few hundred million in cash, right? 200 million or 300 million, whatever. Anyway, it's all gone to Bitcoin, right? But they had a bit of cash. And yet people were shorting their stock. People were not impressed. And which really means that if you had marginal growth, if you had some growth at all, you're still worthless. All you've done as a company is just keep up with with the cost of living, with inflation. And that's something that you've got to try to wrap your head around. You've got to try to understand, because it's it we got to accept the fact that this margin that we make is just not enough. Forget about being poor and forget about being in this lower end cycle and not being able to even have the opportunity to have a stock given to you that you can grow your money on. Many people in the bottom of the cycle who don't have enough money will never even have this opportunity, and that's why you say the poor can never become rich, right? They're really stuck in a loop, and it just becomes worse and worse for them. And that's a sad fact of life. It's not really much we can do. But there's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's gone up now. I don't know what it's gone up. It's a 300, 400%, something along those lines. This year, it's a significant rise, right? We've gone from 3,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 12, 12 to finally we hit 19, and we were really thrilled about that. And here we are at $60,000. 61 actually is our new all-time high. Now you've got the chance for a 400% increase. Now you've got the chance to really get ahead, to get out of this poverty cycle, to beat inflation at a real, with a real jump that isn't going to leave you still stuck, where you make your 10%, 5%, 20%, and you think, wow, I made a little bit of money, I can breathe. Sure, you can breathe. That's just it. You can breathe, you can still put bread on the table. All that's nice, right? But there's this 400% increase. There's this massive opportunity. If this year Bitcoin really does hit $300,000, $350,000, at 60, 120, 180, 240, 300,000. It's 5 times, 500 more percent it could go up. Don't miss this. So, what is the strategy you should have? What should you be doing to get yourself ahead, to ensure that you take care of yourselves? Compared to last year, BTC's gone up. Yeah, yeah, Alam, you're right. I can't see the full message, but I can imagine what you're saying. It's several thousand%. I'm quite certain. Work, whatever your day job is, whatever your gig is, whatever your salaried position is, do that. Keep doing that. Set aside some money and put it in Bitcoin. Put it in some other crypto asset. If you feel you want to you want to own a whole Ethereum. Well, Ethereum is now about to hit 2,000. I don't know if it already has hit 2,000, but hold some Ethereum. That's also not a bad thing. You can hold one Ethereum. Now, Ethereum went up from when we started EasyTron. Ethereum was $240, I think. So, how many percent is that, right? 200 to that's is that 2,000%? I think it's a lot. Whatever it is, it's a lot, right? Um, 10x, 10x. It's 1,000%. Um, that's what we would have earned, right? If all of you have been earning money in Tron, well, Tron's gone up at least 3 times, right? 246. So that's 300% for us. We haven't done badly. We've done pretty well too. So take the Tron, put it in one of the blue chip cryptocurrencies, right? At this point, it just happens to be either Ethereum or Bitcoin. But the use case for Bitcoin is there. The financial institutions that are um, about to move money from capital markets, from their funds, they will start moving it into crypto. You are on an EasyTron program. Well, work EasyTron, right? This is our job. This is what we can do to earn some money. We can't. We don't have a BTC smart contract that we can build on. We can't use Ethereum because Ethereum is very, very expensive. Some of you have been suffering with Tron gas fees that have gone up, right? It might have gone up to 100 Tron, for example. But that's still just $5. It's not so bad. In Ethereum, you're looking at, what are you looking at? You're looking at $50, 50 US, 70 US. Some TRX production. Let me see what the message is. Is that you? Oh, TRX prediction this year. I don't know. I don't know, Yogesh. It's a really good question. Where's Tron going to go? I think Tron will continue to go up. It won't go up with the same meteoric rise as Bitcoin. So I would still recommend that you earn in Tron because that's our day job. You earn in Indian rupees because that's your day job. You earn in pesos because it's your day job. What you earn, invested in Bitcoin. That's I think I can't be clearer than that. We can only earn money the way we can earn. We're all networkers, so we want a network program that works where we can really earn some cash. we take that earnings and then we invest it wisely. So this is what I'm talking about. Obviously, this is a new industry. It is not easy for us to wrap our head around. It's not easy for us to comprehend. Not everybody's going to believe that Bitcoin's going to be $1 million, $500,000. It's hard. It's so hard to think, my God, that's what's going to happen. But reality is it probably will, very likely, and it may happen in the next maybe 2 or 3 years, right? So it's not even that far away. We might kick ourselves because we didn't buy Bitcoin when it was $1 and $2 and $3. We didn't buy it when it was $300. We didn't buy it when it was bouncing between $700 and 300, 700 and 1,008, and then back to 700 again. We never bought it, right? But we shouldn't be standing on the sidelines. You know, it really is time for us to take our job seriously. So we're in the crypto space, and we are in an easy Tron, or at least we're in a Tron program. I want to touch on this, right? EasyTron is a solid, hard-working program, but all of you are networkers and you are leaders, and you are on the Sunday call because you are working, because you put in the hours, because you put the effort in and try to draw people into the program. But humans are lazy. Humans are not going to always want to work, and very few will work as hard as you. So they're looking for some kind of an easy benefit, some kind of earnings where they'll say, well, you know, I want to sit on my behind and I would like to have more money fall from the sky. As unreasonable as it is, this is what people expect. And so many join different networks. I tell you why they join networks too. Um, the majority of us are in a variety of countries, you know, from India through, or maybe Pakistan, India, through UAE, through Southeast Asia, and maybe even down to Australia. That's kind of our region, right? This is where all our members come from. And we are not in the thick of things. I'd say to a certain degree, Singapore is in the thick of things. London is the second largest financial center after New York, and Singapore. I don't know whether we've overtaken Hong Kong, but we are you know still not in the thick of things, which really means we are never going to have opportunities that are massive. I give you an example. If you track the big traders, the real big whales, people who are buying up stock in the stock market because they've got hedge funds of $2 trillion, $3 trillion, 100 billion, 500 billion, 800 billion, massive chunks of money. When they decide they're going to buy a particular stock, you can bet your bottom dollar that stock is going to go up in value. We don't have that knowledge. We're not close enough to know where they're putting their money. But if you have the means to track what they're doing, you can make money as well, 20% in a day. If you saw what happened on Friday with the South Korean IPO, Coupang, Coupang, right? That's what sort of an Amazon styled business. 81% rise in one single day. If you had this opportunity and you could get in, you could make 81% too. But we don't. And so we can only go towards whatever is a near hanging fruit. And that means we've got some leader who's come to us and said, hey, you know, here's some opportunity. You can make 20% a month. You can make 30% a month. This plan is really good. This company is really awesome. This trading tool is the best thing since sliced bread, and it can make you rich. You have to sign people up, and you put money here yourself, and they put money there, and everybody's earning 25% a month. And you think, fantastic. That's what I'm going to do because I have no other opportunity to make this kind of money. And so we join networks. It's not our fault, it's not the fault of villagers and farmers and and blue collar workers and middle income people, because what other opportunities do we have? We're not, we don't have the real big chances that capital market can really give you. All this money that the Fed prints doesn't come to the common man. It doesn't come to the poor. It doesn't come to the middle and lower income. It doesn't go to people who are homeless, right? It stays up in the banks, in the hedge funds, and in the very, very rich, who can then go out because they've got great credit ratings, take $1 million in loans. They can take $50 million in loans. It's all free money, and then they can make money. So we don't have that opportunity, and so we join networks that end up ripping us off, that end up stealing our money, that ruin our lives and ruin the networks below us. This is what ends up happening, right? And it's very little you can do. Someone told me, if you keep going to the provinces in China, right? China built 500 cities, right? They made many, many people middle income at least, but it's still people who are poor, and in the smaller cities who are still farmers. Or they're doing all right even as farmers. And so you go down to a province and you say, here's an opportunity and you can make 20% a month. And they go back home and they take the money from under their bed, they come with a gunny sack and they dump it in. And the company steals that money. And then 3 months later, another company comes and said, hey, we've got another great trading tool that can make you 25% a month, 30% a month, and on and on. And they go back and they take more money from the gunny sack and from under the bed, and they come and invest it again. And they do it again and again and again. Why? Why do they keep losing? Because there's just no other opportunities. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to put their money in. So we built EasyTron because we thought it's a good working plan to help everybody, and it continues to help. Um, my dear friend Carlos reminded me last week that EasyTron continues to pay families $30 and $50. It allows them to go out there and buy themselves or their family a bicycle. They can then go out there and help them to earn a living and and rise a level up. That's what EasyTron has done. But at the same time, EasyTron has some weaknesses, right? And um, there are a lot of leaders and marketers here on this call, and leaders and marketers never ever talk about negatives. They're always positive, right? It's all rah rah rah. Everything is great. I don't want to be the same kind of person. I don't want to say everything is beautiful and wonderful and the sun is always shining. The sun doesn't always shine, sadly. And EasyTron has some weaknesses, right? And the key weakness is, if you bring in people who don't really want to work, well, then this plan isn't for them. So we need an improvement. We need to have an enhancement that ensures that there's some degree of passive earnings where people can alarm. Don't worry, alarm. The call we recorded. You in about 2 days you can see it online. Um, Best wishes too. So we need an improvement that will ensure that the people who want to come in and sit down and not really work, they can still earn money. We still need those people. We still need people to come in who are bigger investors, who put money in the plan, because we can all earn. We earn up 10 levels. We earn up at least from the people that are directly below us. That's really important. We have to earn this money, and we need the big funds to come in. So the plan has to be modified somewhat. And I believe we have the solution. I believe we have an improvement to EasyTron that will make that will solve all of the problems, or at least will take care of some of the weaknesses that EasyTron 1 has. And so EasyTron, we don't know what we're going to call it, but let's call it EasyTron 2. EasyTron 2 will have those fundamental changes that will make sure, as long as you stay in the plan, you keep earning more and more and more and more without anybody scamming you, without money being taken out of the system. So whatever we do, I want to give you my 100% assurance. All money will stay on the smart contract. If you look at any plan, and this is all that you have to do, there's nothing more you need to do. Anybody that introduces something to you, ask them where the money is going. If they say the money will go to trading, the company will do this and this and this, believe me, the money will never come back. If the money is taken out, it doesn't come back in. Every plan is the same. Every network is the same. Every company that does that, you can bet your house that you will lose all the money. This is a fact. It's out of 1,000 companies, 1,000 companies will do the same thing. There are just no exceptions. Why are we in the crypto space? Well, we're in the crypto space because this is a decentralized business. It means nobody gets to take you for a ride. You get to see everything. You get to see everything on the chain. You get to see everything in the contract, and you can decide what you want to do. This is why we are in crypto. This is why we want to stay in a decentralized network. You don't want anyone to take the money out and then con you and say, I can pay you 20%. Nobody's going to pay you 20%. Nobody can afford to pay you 20%. So, how do we make money in crypto? Well, you've got the DeFi space. Everything started with Bitcoin. And after Bitcoin came Ethereum. And with Ethereum came the blockchain. Of course, Bitcoin started on a blockchain, still stays on a blockchain. But Ethereum decided to make the blockchain a working man tool. It is something that every company in the world now needs for them to track everything, to track every dime. As long as money is staying on the chain, as long as systems stay on the chain, everything can be taken care of. And it can be taken care of automatically. EasyTron is a great example. We are on the Tron chain, not the Ethereum chain. We're on the Tron chain. And the Tron chain is faster, it's more versatile, and it's cheaper. This is why we are on Tron. And the smart contract is designed on the chain to pay everybody instantly. The money can be tracked and you know what's happening. So when we change the plan, when we modify and take care of the weaknesses and we do something to ensure it's a stronger plan, I want to assure you one thing: everything stays on chain, which means 100% of the money coming in, 100% is accounted for. Some money might be used for costs and overheads, but it's not a large sum. The rest will stay on chain and everybody will be protected. So I don't want to give away the plan. I don't want to tell you what it is, but I would like to say next Sunday, you have to gather everybody. Now you do what you got to do, call who you got to call, and get them on the phone, get them on Zoom next Sunday. If we're up to 500 people, 1,000 people, it doesn't matter. Let's get everybody on next Sunday. And we're going to talk about how we're going to improve EasyTron and ensure we've got a program that's going to be stronger for everybody. During the course of this week, we will speak to all of you, all of the big leaders, the head of Royal Team, to Lisa, Donovan, to Alam, to Carlos, to Eric, to Ken, to all the guys that were leading the programs. We will speak to you. We will share everything to you, and we'll ensure everything remains transparent. You yourself have to check the contract, make sure that everything is designed not to con you, not to steal from you, to ensure that the plan is robust. I will share one little thing though. There will be a token that will be designed to be part of EasyTron. And the token will come with what is known as AMM, an AMM module, right, which is an automated market maker module. And the AMM will be designed to ensure this token goes up in value every single day. It will never ever come down. Now, how we do this, how we support the price and the value of this token, this is the most important conversation that I will have with you during this week, and when we finally get on the call next Sunday. I don't know what the timeline is going to be. Um, we've made some earlier promises and we didn't keep to those timelines. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to promise you that everything will be launched and so forth. But I do believe we are very close. I do believe that um, no more than a month from now, we can go live. Now, the question then will be, well, what do we do with EasyTron? Are you abandoning EasyTron? Did you cheat us? Are you now suddenly moving to something new? Well, it's my simple answer is no. We're not abandoning anyone. I will keep talking to you, and I'll keep updating you, and I'll keep telling you what's going on. That's the very least I can do. EasyTron can never be closed. It will forever be there. All of you still have downlines in it. You still have people you may not be able to capture, you may not be able to bring over to EasyTron 2, and they can remain in this program. It won't matter. Will they keep getting paid? Yes, everybody will keep getting paid. If everything stopped today, if everything stopped in EasyTron today, and tomorrow everybody moved over to EasyTron 2, remember one thing, everybody's already been paid. Nobody has not been paid in EasyTron. Nobody would be left hanging. This is very important to understand. So we're not abandoning anybody. We have improved the most fundamental area, which is that a lot of people feel that I would like to be more passive. And if I'm passive, I would like to still earn some money. So this is what we've tried to rectify in EasyTron 2. And this is what I would love to share with all of you on the Sunday call next week. For sure, I will share the plan. That I will do. Whether I can share with all of you as leaders on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday, or even 2 hours before Sunday, before our usual Sunday call, I will let you know. But I will share with you before our main call. Our main call is 11:30 Singapore time, which is 9 p.m. IST. That will be when we will present it to the masses. So you can bring your downlines, you can bring your friends, you can bring everybody, and that'll be the first day we will present EasyTron 2. In the meantime, uh, give me 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, I'm not sure, and we will finalize the deck and the information and the material, and then I'll come back to you so that we can have a preliminary call before the main call. Is that okay? Excellent. So, um, hey Radha, I've got two strong messages today. The first message really was, um, I think Bitcoin, please remember that has to be the ultimate store of value that you utilize. What you earn over here in EasyTron, I'll ensure you can earn good money. We have a strong plan. You will even have some passive income. You will have a token that will keep increasing in value, that is worth keeping and hanging on to. Whatever little profits that you take out, you can put it in Bitcoin. That being said, don't have to worry. EasyTron will keep going up in value. It may not be able to chase Bitcoin in the same manner, but you're not losing out either. And at least we can still beat inflation. But most importantly, um, and you know, this is just the message that's going back to what Carlos said. For the people that don't have much money, EasyTron is a good plan for them to start with. The new plan may start at 500 Tron. 500 Tron is $25. It'll start at that price, and it'll help people to get in, to get their first foot up on their ladder, um, and 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 then scale themselves up and start to earn some real money. For them to get a taste of the crypto market, because it's really important. I've shared that I've been dealing with people who don't know anything, nothing about crypto. My mom knows nothing about crypto. My son knows nothing about crypto. So just allowing them to hold on to some tokens, it's important. It's an important step that they all must have. And right now we've got a simple plan. You open a Tron wallet, you join, you link it to the smart contract, and then start earning. That's what we've got. That doesn't change, except I think we've got a wonderful, wonderful plan that will take care of the number one problem we had, which is getting big investors in who want real passive earnings. I hope today's message was useful for everyone. I truly thank all of you for being on the call and always being here. I love seeing all of you. And I'm really looking forward to this week. It's going to be an important week for us. But next Sunday's call, please get the word out. Start calling everyone, and let's get the call full, and let's announce the exciting news. Thank you very much. Have a great Sunday for all of you on the call, and I'll see you during the week. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of those updates, Nick. Now, most of you might be excited about EasyTron too. So make sure that you gather everybody and be the very first ones to get in on this new plan. To get early access to the call before Sunday's May call on 11:30 p.m. or at 11:30 p.m. Singapore time, please make sure that you are a part of the Facebook group. You like the Facebook page, you followed us on Instagram, and have joined our various WhatsApp groups. So on Facebook and on Instagram, you can search for us, EasyTron. I'm sure you know how it's spelled. No problem for that. And again, this has been your host, Natalia, and we're all looking forward to seeing you again next Sunday. Thank you and good night.